welcome to this edition of Buncombe Life. We're out here at WastePro with Jerry Schnitzius, General Manager at WastePro, for a multitude of reasons. One reason is because of you. We asked you on a couple of shows ago to call in and tell us things that you might want to see again or you might want to follow up. Guess what, Jerry? You guys were one of the ones they wanted to follow up.
Oh, goody.
They were new to us y'all were new here last time we were out here at your this is great headquarters, and we had two or three viewers who actually called in and said, will you follow up on them, tell us how they're doing, we want to hear more about that. So we're here. We're also here to hear about bear-proof containers. We're here to hear about recycling, and yes, Jerry's going to talk about weather and snow and how they get you on garbage in just a few minutes. So sit back, relax, and watch this edition. Okay, Jerry, you've been here for a year. You just gave us a great tour of your facilities. Your offices are beautiful. We are standing on the floor where the garbage trucks park, and you just told me this is not clean.
No, this is the dirtiest because it's in the winter, so we have a lot of mud coming in, but we sweep it every day, but it's still dirty. It
doesn't stink. I don't think it's dirty. No. I think it looks great.
It's not your average garbage company.
It is not your average garbage company. So how have y'all done a year now that you've been here for a year?
Well, we had a rough start because of the blizzards last year. So, but once we got our feet on the ground and started running, we were exceptionally proud of what we were doing. We had rave reviews from our customers. Of course, there's always those who we don't have such rave reviews from because we're not perfect. We try to be.
Of course.
But we do on the average of 52,000 collections a week. And that's from your residential trash to the recycling. So it's over 52,000 a week collections. And we had it down to less than 20 calls a week on going back or missed pickups or anything.
That's excellent.
We were going to zero, and then the storms came. So now it's a different world.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. But how about recycling? I know one of the things we talked about last year is that you were going to push recycling and try to get more customers to recycle.
And we have. It's gone up right at, we're doing about 350 tons a month, and that's up about probably 50 tons a month from where it was when we started.
That's huge.
And we keep seeing a greater increase. And in fact, in the spring, we're going to put out a promotion to increase that because we're going to start offering the recycling toters, which are like these, but they hold 64 gallons instead of 96. And that'll be a big push. But overall, we're excited about where it's going, and we're want to add more to the recycling, let them recycle more things.
Good. Now, I know one thing that one of the first concerns you had about recycling was people putting the blue bags in containers.
Yes, and we pretty much got that out. People are understanding now the blue bags don't go in the trash container, they go alongside.
Okay.
And so that has been an education progress. And quite honestly, people in Buncombe County are very good about recycling, and they're very excited if it's not done right.
Yeah.
As you know, we run two separate trucks.
Right.
One for recycling, one for trash, and in some cases, one truck will bring the recycling down to the nearest location for the recycling truck, and we've had to explain that to people sometimes because they get excited. They think it's going in trash. No, we're only carrying it for these guys.
It's two completely separate trucks.
Two separate units. Yeah, the recycling trucks actually dump at a recycling center. The garbage trucks actually go to the landfill or go to the transfer station, and the county is very close about monitoring, make sure they don't see any recycled material in those containers.
Right, and that's good.
That is good. They're very good at that.
That's good.
And they even look at the cardboard to make sure there's no cardboard in there too.
Well, now, have you had any other concerns over this year? Any growing pains or any other things that?
Biggest growing pains have probably been the access to some of the areas that people want us to service, and they're saying, well, your trucks are too big. Well, our trucks are the standard size trucks. We don't have any trucks that are any bigger than what the previous company had. We have a lot more of the smaller trucks. But so many people on the lanes and the dirt roads and the hard access areas, they say, well, we want you to bring little bitty trucks in. Well, we want you to make a bigger road.
That's right.
And that's been our only real blip. We've gotten most of that worked out, and we think we're doing a great job. In fact, we were on our way to superstardom until recently.
Yeah, which we're going to get back to. That's right. Now, is there any tips about recycling for customers? I think we covered, like you said, don't put the blue bags in the container, set them separately. Anything else that you need people to know?
Well, we want to keep them dry. For the most cases, we don't want any wet products in. If you've got a pizza box that's got pizza stuck inside of it, throw it away because that can't be recycled.
Right.
So if it's wet or if it's greasy, it's trash. But just about any dry paper products, use it in recycling. Any cans, any bottles, any jars, recycle. We don't recycle plastic bags, the microfilm bags, or the hard plastic toys, or those kind of things. We just can't. But on a normal, you can get about 60% of everything you're generating in your household can be recycled, if not more.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
I have 2 containers. I have a recycling container and a trash bin, and believe it or not, the recycling container is always full, whereas the trash container is about half full.
That's right.
And that's just a family of my wife and myself, and that's every week.
Yeah. So if you're not recycling, you need to do it. It really is fun, and we'll be talking more about that next month. Bear-proof containers.
Yeah. We have a new container out. We call it bear-proof, but now I'm starting to call it bear-resistant because these bears have given us a challenge. But the bear-proof container is actually tested in Oregon in a grizzly reserve to have the grizzlies get in it, and the grizzly couldn't get in it. But the black bears have got they got a little smaller claws, so they can pry and they can rip. But we've only had 2, and we've got about 100 out now. That the bears really tore them apart, but they didn't get in them. They never did get in them.
They didn't get to the garbage.
No, they didn't get to the garbage. But this is the bear-proof container. It looks like the standard cart. The difference is this is double wall, double line, and it's got the steel here, so they can't get under the lid.
Right.
And it's got a trigger here that you have to stick your finger in and pull the trigger and then lift like this to get it in. But it's a double reinforced locking cart, and they really are bear resistant, bear proof. When I say they're bear proof, but when you get one shredded, you don't want to keep it. So we've replaced 2 of them. So.
Tell me what happened to the one you told me this just a few minutes ago, that he peeled the top of it back.
The customer called and said it was 2 bears. She said it was unusual because it was 2 bears and 4 cubs. And they were all working on it. And they literally, this is a double wall lid, but they shredded the lid up and it was standing up like this. They didn't get to the inside, but they got the outside, the teeth marks everywhere. We couldn't fold it back. That is so strong. I took 2 hands trying to pull it back, and I couldn't budge it. I'm thinking the strength of these animals is incredible.
It is. So that just goes to show you definitely stay away from bears in your yard.
But they work.
But so if any of your customers are out and they have trouble with bears, they need to request one of these.
We can do it. They rent for a higher price because they cost us 4 times more than a standard cart.
Right, but if you get bears in your trash, it's definitely worth it.
Yep, and we'll replace it if it's damaged, which we do.
Okay, there you go.
Hello.
Did you know Buncombe County employees are helping create something new? Buncombe County employees recycle 199,000 pounds of paper, aluminum, and plastic every month. Instead of trashing our office paper, newspaper, plastic bottles, drink cans, and cardboard, we throw these items into plastic containers that are collected by curbside management. Once the items get to Kirby, they're separated and sent away to become new life. Our office paper becomes hydroseed and insulation. Our aluminum cans become new aluminum cans. Our newspapers become newsprint, plastic drink bottles become carpet, and the glass becomes road reflective paint or fiberglass insulation. Our shredded office paper makes paper towels, toilet paper, or tissue. We're keeping 199,000 pounds of trash out of the landfill and giving it new life. You can recycle too. Won't you join us? To find out how you can recycle, check out buncombecounty.org/green or kirby.com today. Truly, Jerry, we have seen more snow in the last 2 winters than I've seen in 20 years, combined living here. So just know that, but tell us what's going on, because I know the commissioners have gotten complaints, well, they won't come get my trash. That's not necessarily true.
Probably the people's misconception of how these trucks, where they can go and how they can get there, you know, I have a mailman that came up here in his Subaru, which is 4-wheel drive, and he delivered my mail, and you're telling me you can't get your truck up. These units, when we lose traction, there's no gaining traction, and we have a situation on flat ground where a truck we've had several of them just slide off the side of the road sitting in one spot while the loader was trying to load the back of the truck.
Right.
So our policy is, if like we had this week where we had a blizzard on Monday, we couldn't get to anything on Monday, so we backed up a day. But our policy going forward has to be this way. Our drivers are trained professionals. They will put that truck anywhere where they're sure that they can operate safely. If in fact they're going to put somebody in danger, then we're telling them, no, a bag of trash is not worth killing somebody.
That's right.
Now, we've had trucks that we've lost control of down the bottom of the hill, and that's at hazard. You know, you have a 20,000-pound unit coming at you, and when that truck slides, the driver's out of control.
That's what I wanted you to say. That's what I wanted you to, I want folks at home to hear, because truly it's not worth your trash. Just deal with your trash another week, because imagine turning up my road and seeing one of these come.
Exactly.
I may not be able to get out of the way fast enough.
Well, we had a situation where a customer insisted that we could get up his road. The driver absolutely refused. He told me, he said, you can fire me, I'm not going to take this truck up that road, I'm not going to do it.
Right.
And I believed him, so we sent a 4-wheel drive. The 4-wheel drive did get up the road. He picked up the trash, and as he was turning, he lost traction, and the pickup truck slid to the bottom of the hill.
Oh.
And I said, imagine you're coming out, your wife's coming home with the kids, and you make the turn only to see this coming at you, out of control. Now, the driver's not going to get hurt, but we're going to really do some serious damage. And God, it terrifies us.
Right.
I mean, it terrifies the drivers.
Right. And I so respect that about your company, that you truly do. You try to please the customer the best you can. But when it comes to life and death issues, which this really is, it's not worth a bag of trash.
It's not worth a bag of trash. You know? And people say, well, then I want a credit. But I remind people, we bill by the month, but we service by the week. So you get 4 extra weeks a year that you're not even paying for.
Right.
So chalk that up. That's a snow day. I want schools. I get snow days. We're going to do our best, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to do our very best to get to you as soon as possible. We're going to do it in a safe manner. We're not going to put anybody's life at stake.
Right. And that counts for snow, but there could be issues like this as we move through the summer too. Flood issues, or
we do have a lot of dirt roads we traverse, and a lot of times after a heavy rainstorm, the dirt road will be washed out. But we usually deal with those one-on-one. It's not the mass that we have here.
Yeah.
This week, under these blizzard conditions that we had, we've probably got about 60% of our total customer base. But there's that 40% down these private little lanes and up in the hills that we just can't get to.
Right. Right. But it will clear up. You will get the garbage picked up, and you'll pick up the magnitude. If it's 2 weeks worth, you're not going to say, "Oh, we're not taking that."
Oh no! Next week, when we're hoping it clears up next week, instead of running 1.5 loads a day, these guys will be running 2 and 3 loads a day. Right. They're going to clean everything up. We promise you, everything will be picked up.
Right. We
won't adhere to any limits, and we never do, even though there are limits in the county contract. We always try to go overboard. We try to do more than what we're paid to do.
And that is a great philosophy.
We try.
And I appreciate that.
Well, and I apologize to anybody out there that thinks we haven't tried, but we are.
Oh yeah, you have. And we've showed you some footage of what you're facing, and I appreciate you showing us.
And those were on flat streets.
That's right, that was on flat streets. So you've heard it. If you've got any questions about WastePro, if you don't have WastePro as your garbage hauler, you need to call them. We can put that information on the screen for you. Is there anything else you want to leave us with, Jerry? Anything you want the folks at home to know?
No, just understand this. We're going to do our very best to give you the very best service, and we're still insisting our drivers have to put the lids on the cans. Now, I will say, under windy conditions, we've had situations we put the lid on the can, they'll find the lid 20 feet down the road because of wind, and that's something we can't control.
Right.
And the snow.
That's right. That's right. Some things you just have to deal with.
And quite honestly, we think we're going to be dealing with this for a long time, so we're preparing. We're putting a lot of chains on our trucks and everything else, but that's not the end all.
No.
The best thing is we've got the best, most trained drivers out there.
I think you do too. I think they're great.
So,
and I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
Hope you are too. Now stay tuned.